If you want the look of hand stitching without the time invested, there is actually a stitch on this machine that will do the work for you. So it's actually in the quilt stitches, and in the first one, you want to pick stitch number 2, and with that, you can do a couple things. You're going to notice that the stitch kind of has a stitch and then a thick stitch, and a stitch and a thick stitch. So there's actually a combination of forward, back, forward, and the color of thread that you're seeing here is the bobbin threads. Whatever color you want to stitch, you got to wind a bobbin. And what's up here on the needle is clear thread or monofilament thread. Now there's a lot of combinations and variables, I should say, that go into making this actually work. Because even when I first started, it didn't really look good. The stitch wasn't like connecting all together. And even the first couple stitches, you almost have to get it going before it actually pulls that bobbin thread through your batting. Speaking of batting, not all battings handle this technique the same way, because pretty much what we're doing is dragging our bobbin thread up from the basement and across, and then locking it, and then stitching forward, leaving a gap, and then repeating the sequence, dragging that bobbin thread back. So you'll notice the tension is super, super tight to start off with at 8. I had to go up to 10 to get this setting here, and I actually played around a little bit with the balance because I was getting it to pull up, but it wasn't coming and connecting all the way. So I actually changed the balance to actually pull in a little bit more and touch. So I this is totally a manipulated stitch. So just because you don't get it the first time, you might change the type of thread you put in the bobbin, maybe try a different thickness or type of batting, and you will need to adjust your tensions. It depends on what kind of clear thread you use. Oh my goodness, there's a lot. I'm sure somebody did some crazy setting and thought, oh, this looks like hand stitching. We should have it on our machines, and now we do, but it takes some work and effort to get it to look right. Now on the back side, you're definitely going to see that it's all one stitch, and you can see where it's that thick and then where it's triple and then a single and a triple and a single. So as you're stitching, of course, we're putting our 0A foot on. We have the dual feed because we are working on batting, and I'll go ahead and just start to increase that tension just a little bit. And like I said, the first couple of stitches don't always even pull up all the way. It's almost like it needs help. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little pull there. I can't remember if I did plus or minus on my balance here to get that. I'm going to go all the way up to 10. That also made it, or 9.8 is the tightest tension that you're going. There we go. And that's really dragging that bobbin thread up. Remember, the tighter the top tension, the more oomph you get to pull it up to the top. All right. I would also go a little slower with this. This isn't a race down your project, but if you do want the look of handwork without all the work of doing it by hand, you have a stitch built into this machine.